The views and opinions of this broadcast do not reflect the views and opinions of Armed Media, New Productions and its affiliates. Enjoy the show.
I'm a big fish in a small pond. Got my days free and my nights long. I create my own reality. Who I am is fine with me. As famous as I wanna be. Who I am is fine with me. It's who I am. It's who I am. Who I am.
Coming in, you know what that means. It's Tuesday night, 9 p.m. What's the Story with Maria? Hi, everybody. This is my favorite hour of the week. I've been saying it every week. I love it. I can't wait for this hour. So my name is Maria. The show is What's the Story with Maria, and we meet here every Tuesday at 9. And I am always thrilled to see who pops in first. Of course, our friend Leo Rodriguez has joined us first. Rena Creali Berge, she is my cousin in Massachusetts. She's joined us. And Zito in the Bronx, Christy Piero in Jersey. And they are already saying hi. They usually come in right away. Ed Kuto is in Connecticut, in Rocky Hill, Connecticut. He owns Blade Salon. Alan Singer, he is in Orlando, Florida. Hi, Alan Singer, how are you? And so a lot of our regulars will pop in. And the first, I told these guys, the first minute or two, they all pop in. And then we start the show. So we want to thank, this is Scott Barbarino and Michael McAssey, and they have joined us tonight. We want to thank Armed Radio. Armed Radio is the mothership that we ride every week on the radio waves, and we want to welcome our radio listeners. How are you? And goes across the country and 66 other countries. So we appreciate that you tune in every week. Valerie Vining has joined. Okay, wow, Valerie, I don't know this Valerie. How wonderful. This is great. So she's new to our show. So what we do is, the mission of my show is to showcase my friends. I have lived in the city for 30 years, and I love the business that I'm in. It's not always the easiest business, but it's incredibly passionate, and the people that I meet along the way just have changed my life. So I am all about promoting them and showing them off and all that stuff. We talk about the reality of living, thriving, and surviving as a creative person in New York City and across the country. So, all right, so tonight I have, as I said, Scott Barbarino and Michael McAssey, and they have both been my friends for many, many, many years. Michael and I go back to 93.
Yeah.
Yep.
94, 93, 94.
94. And Jeffrey Campbell has joined us. Michael Klein has joined us. Hi, guys. And Scott Barbarino, you and I probably met maybe like 98-ish, 99?
I guess it's hard to really know exactly when. When did you come? When did you first get to New York?
I got to New York in 90. But then I started working at the Duplex in 98. And
so that's when.
I think that's when I met. Although I was working at the Five Oaks for a little bit before that, just on a Saturday night when it was after it was the Five Oaks and it was something else. It was like it changed names towards the end.
I
there.
was actually managing there in like that time. So
that's probably when I met
Duplex,
you then.
Yeah.
And Rick owned it at the time, I think, right? Rick Panson owned it at the time.
He did.
Michael McDermott has joined us. Kenny Holcomb, he's in Nashville. Anthony Fett, hi Anthony Fett. So there's a lot of nice people that have joined us already. Okay, so I've named the show Kickin' It Old School. And there's several reasons for that. One is that we've known each other a long time. And two is because you guys have been in this business a really long time and you've held up. A lot of what people do now in cabaret has to do with those early birds that came here straight out of the gate. Another 100 people just got off of the bus, the train, the plane, and you guys were these young guys that were out there doing your thing and learning from.
We stayed.
You stayed.
Yeah. We had no choice.
Yep, and I think it was Tom Terry who said to me once, what do you get if you stay? And I said, you get to stay. That's what you get if you stay in New York. You get to stay, which it seems like a simple thing, but not everybody gets to stay in New York. Most of them, for financial reasons, people have to move out. It's very expensive. It's not always easy to make a living here. And especially as time goes on, and Scott, you just said it, you have to reinvent yourself, right?
Yes, you do. Because I got lucky because I was born in Brooklyn.
Oh, okay.
So it was easy for me to get into the city. And we used to travel. I was 12 or 13, and my parents would say, "Oh, sure, you want to go into the city? Here's coffee." And I would come in and go to I would tell them I was going to the library.
Right.
You know, and so I saw it at a young age, and worked my way into the first piano bar. I think I was 17.
Wow! And what piano bar was that?
At
Do you
the
remember?
Duplex.
At the
downtown.
Duplex, when it was across the street on Grove
55
Street.
Grove Street. Yeah.
Right, and it's moved since, I think in '90 it moved over to the other corner.
I actually was the manager when it moved, and you know how we moved it, Maria?
How, honey?
We moved it with little carts across the street, one cart at a time.
You're kidding me?
No, it's only half a block away.
And that's what you did?
A moving truck never came. We moved the bottles, we moved the chairs, we moved the tables. It was a group effort. Everybody that worked at the old duplex pretty much moved to the new duplex, and we moved it cart by cart.
Wow, and the old Duplex became Rose's turn, right?
And then the old duplex became Rose's turn.
And I think the owners split, so Rick came over and had the Duplex, and then the two girls, Karen and
Rochelle
had
actually
88s.
had already left the duplex and had opened up 88s.
Okay. Wow.
They
So
were
that
there already. So
Yeah, the Foms came in and took Rose Fom and her sons, Ming and Henry.
right.
They bought Don't Tell Mama and Rose's Turn.
Right.
So Ming managed Don't Tell Mama in Midtown, and Henry managed Rose's Turn at 55 Grove Street.
you know the beauty of it though was the fact that the duplex was the starting point for a family.
Yeah.
And then Rob Hoskins and Irv Rabel, then they opened Don't Tell Mama, and then they took over Brandy's. And so there was a circuit in those days that you would go from one to the other. We had a joke, we used to say the same $20 bill would make its way through all the bars.
Yeah.
But we still
would
joke
travel
about
from
that.
one to the other.
We still joke about
Yeah.
that. Like if Joe Artizone comes to or Babe
Yeah.
used to come to the Duplex and they would hand you 20 as a tip, you'd be like, I don't need that. But then you went to see them and you gave them the same 20 back. So that's what we would say. It's the same.
That's the
It's
same.
truth.
But it was like a family. There was a little breakup, and people left and went different places. But the one thing that I know from all of that is that the piano bar and the cabaret and all of that is more than just a location. It's a way of life, and
Yes.
just a whole. So a lot of us have stayed very good friends over the years.
Well, and even though, like, when they all originally, Irv and Rob owned Don't Tell Mama, the Duplex, the Duplex first, Don't Tell Mama, and Brandy's. So for quite a few years, they had all three, and everybody that worked, whether you were a bartender, a singing waiter, a piano player, I was all three. And so certain nights you would work at different clubs. So I would work at Mama's 2 nights a week.
Right.
Then I'd be at Brandy's one night. And even then, when the other clubs came through and they all diversified and had different owners, the same staff, you could still, I'm down at the Duplex on Thursdays.
Right.
I'm up on Brandy's on Saturday nights. I'm at Don't Tell Mama. And a lot of that is still true today, because even though the ownerships have changed and they've all diversified, the clubs are still the same, and the circuit and the family keeps going. A lot of us older people have pulled back and let some of the children come in and take over, but yeah.
And also, I think that a lot of the people that started that, and you two are two of those people, have also gone on to do other things where you weren't necessarily in the clubs, but on cruise ships, touring, managing other clubs, booking clubs, doing things of that nature.
Yeah.
That, you need people that have knowledge of this business to be able to do. You know what I mean? So I do want to just scroll back a little bit, because we had a bunch of new people join us, and I want to acknowledge them. Tony Garcia, Linda Carroll has joined us. She's in Massachusetts. Maria Filiomeni, hi my love. She's out in Morristown, where I teach. John De Palma, our friend John De Palma, who was on the show a few weeks ago, and was on you were just recently in Greece. So John, I was following you and Lena in Greece there. Ryan Madigan. Ryan, I think you're back in the city. He was out in Provincetown working at the post office, managing that. Mike Callahan is joining us. Hi, Mike Callahan. He is a music lover and a sweet guy, married to my friend Tina. Cheryl Giuliani Rubenstein, she's in LA. Jennifer Day, I think you are in Colorado right now, right? Hi, Jenny Day. All right, so we're talking to Scott Barbarino and Michael McAssey, and they're both guys that started off in piano bar and we're talking about how all the piano bars were connected back then. There was a when you heard people say, "I worked the circuit," that's what they meant. There was a grouping of bars, and piano bars were like a new thing. This wasn't something that existed anywhere else in the world. It was exclusively a New York thing, and then it grew, right?
Yeah, but no, there was piano bars. When I first showed up at the Duplex, there was already a history, and that's it. When we say that's 55 Grove Street. They had a piano bar downstairs, and I actually worked with Jan. Became friends with Jan Wallman. She was already out of the business, but they had that downstairs, and then the upstairs was actually no cabaret room; it was an open space.
Wow,
and
really?
And in the late '50s, Hal Holbrook, who was doing a Mark Twain show, literally built the wall in the back of that room so that he could make it private.
Really?
And that was the first cabaret space. Yeah. And then they served food downstairs also. I don't know how.
That I didn't know. But do you know that my cousin Marisa has joined us from Massachusetts? Hi, Marisa. Tom Chu has joined us. Hi, Tom Chu. I owe you a phone call. Oh, my God. Oh, by the way, Tom Chu is a lawyer, and he does... I know this sounds crazy.
Get his number.
No, he's great. He actually did... I know this sounds like stuff people don't want to talk about, but I do want to talk. It's important. He did my living will. And these are important things to know. And if you need a guy to do that, he is the sweetest, kindest person. Tom Chu, please connect with him. Ben Goldberg has joined us. So... what we're talking about, these clubs that started in New York, like you mentioned the 50s. Now, people like Barbra Streisand, oh my God, Linda Lavin.
Yeah, they all came through.
All came through there first.
But there was a circuit.
Joan Rivers.
Yeah.
Well, and when you're talking about Jan Wallman, when she was
she
at 55
Booker?
That's when Woody Allen and Joan Rivers... and that's when they all started coming to the Duplex.
Yeah, she was the
she was kind of like the person. But even before that, because this was I want to say 60s, late 50s, 60s. But even before that, going like 20 years back, there were supper clubs in New York, which were kind of a hybrid of both.
Yeah.
There'd be like a show, but people would have dinner. There'd be performances, or there'd be background music. Now it's such a gray area. It's like you say, piano bar. It could be absolutely anything.
It does have a lot of variation.
Piano bar.
That's true.
It could be a quiet, background room with like, Gershwin and Porter. It can be like loud, big and screaming and all poppy, and every room is different. Most of the rooms, it also depends on the person who's at the piano.
Absolutely.
Because everybody that does something different. Like my forte is Broadway and like the American Songbook.
Yeah.
I'll learn some other things, but there's certain clubs that you're going to go there and you're going to get Gaga and the Billy Joel and Elton John and all that stuff. So you try to learn things, but every piano bar player has their own shtick, their own, and we're always adding stuff when people ask for requests. But there's certain songs somebody comes and says, "Ask me for a Lady Gaga number." You don't want me to do a Lady Gaga number.
The piano bars.
I will take your dollar, but keep your dollar. It's okay. But everybody's different, so it depends.
Right.
You can go to different clubs at different days and see
get different
everything.
things.
So, like when Rob and Irv first came in and really established the Duplex, they brought in a very heavy team of vocalists.
Right.
Karen Mason, the list,
Nancy
Lamont, Lena Kutrakis,
Right.
Sharon McKnight.
Yeah, these
so
are
you go
like
to see a show on a Friday, Maria.
I know, Jesus.
You see an 8 o'clock, a 10 o'clock, a midnight, and a 2 a.m.
Wow.
You can see 4 shows on
in
a
one
Friday
night.
And you just stay.
And they were heavy hitters. They were heavy hitters.
They were all new, though.
But you know what's funny? I was recently talking to one of the girls in piano bar. I won't mention her name because she may not want me to. Because she said that when she goes to auditions, that they kind of frown upon the fact that she works in piano bar. And one of her managers said, you want to separate yourself from that. I personally feel the opposite. I feel like if you can do piano bar, that is boot camp for everything else. Because you have to be on your feet 8 to 9 hours a night. You have to have customer service skills. You have to be an incredible improver and fly by the seat of your pants. You have to be in great vocal shape, and you don't know what your set list is going to be. It's not like a singer that goes and knows their set list. You and your piano player, your musical director, depending on the audience, are gonna choose songs. Like I always say, people say to me, "What are you going to sing tonight?" I say, "I never know until I get up on the mic. Then I look at my audience and I assess the crowd." And that's when I know what I'm going to do. Because I have to look at their age group. What are they responding to? Are they responding to my jokes? Are they not responding? Is this flying? Do they speak English? I mean, there's a lot of stuff. A lot of them are from wherever they're from. There's a lot of tourists.
And you have to win
adjust.
them over, too.
Yep.
Because anybody will come into a piano bar. Not everybody walks into a cabaret room. Usually you know what
you're going to see. Right.
So in those days when you had those women working the cabaret room, they would come downstairs and they would actually plug the show that was coming with the crowd that was in the piano bar, and then people would go up.
Upstairs,
so,
right.
Yeah.
And getting back to your friend for a minute, first of all, I want to know why she if she went to the audition, how do they know she's in the piano bars? Because you wouldn't put that on your resume. But going back, I agree with you. That is the best training. You can sing anything, anywhere, anytime. So when you go into an audition and they're ignoring you and eating their lunch, it doesn't matter. That's like nothing because you're used to a Saturday night at Don't Tell Mama.
Exactly. Well, they're talking over you.
So that just prepares you and makes you better at it. So I really kind of, it's, I also used to get upset when like Simon Cowell on American Idol would always go, that's cabaret or Broadway, like that's nothing. I'm going, no, that's actually a lot more, that takes a lot more effort and work than
Simon Cowell did a lot of damage to the brand of what we do.
Right, but then I do believe that shows like Glee put us back on the map.
Yeah, well, and even I think even Simon Cowell now, some of that turned around because he's like, well, look what happened to Jennifer Hudson at first, things like that, and there were people that were Adam Lambert,
right,
who was in Wicked in L.A. when he auditioned for American Idol, so he was already a Broadway baby.
Wow!
But he had this incredible voice, and now these are big pop stars.
Right.
But they started on Broadway. They started in the theaters, in the clubs, and
And if you're doing 7 to 8 shows a week, can you imagine the vocal shape you have to be in?
Absolutely.
That's not like you just go in and you do a few numbers and then you're done. Like one of my friends lives out in L.A. and he's a singer. Now he does a lot of stuff. I mean, he's all over the place. But he started off as a singer, and he said that singers in L.A. are so different than singers in New York, because singers in L.A., you ask for a singer, and it takes them weeks to prepare for what they're going to do. And they go in, then they go into the studio, and they do what they do. He said he was used to New York singers, where these were Broadway singers or piano bar singers or cabaret show. They were always ready to sing. Yeah. You have to. You just don't even think about it. So that's the difference, I think. Now, I do want to acknowledge some of our people that just came on. Eudania Mesa has joined us. Hi, honey. Let me see who else. Dominic Pupa. Where have you been? He's been traveling. He's a world traveler. He and his husband, Neil. How are you? And Liz Goldenberg has joined us. Shep Pamplin has joined us. Who else did I think? Victor Flores. Hi, Victor Flores. When are you going to come on the show? He's an amazing chef, executive chef at Joe Allen, Orso, and Bar Centrale. And probably a million other things that he's doing. Victor, I would love to have you on the show. Please, can we talk? Ben Goldberg has joined us as well. Okay, so this, again, I want to, and Mark Sittler has joined us. This is Michael McAssey. He is a musical director. He is a vocal coach. He is an actor. He's a singer. This is Scott Barbarino. He is a singer. He's a producer. He's manager's room. He does bookings.
Rock on tour.
Rock on tour. I love
I haven't heard that.
Whatever I have
You don't hear that
Whatever
anymore.
I have to.
And maybe shoe salesman at some point. Doesn't he look like he could play a shoe salesman? Well, yeah, listen.
I've got Anthony Bourdain planned for the Halloween festivities coming up.
Can I tell you? I'll buy that for sure. Michael Barberi has joined us.
Oh.
Hey.
Michael, I saw you all over Facebook for DragCon. Did you see him? He was everywhere. How are you, honey? I have to have Michael Barberi. You have to come on the show. That would be really fun.
He's working with us at our...
Is he?
Yeah,
okay, so now let's
tell... He's our cameraman and our Ed McMahon.
And may I say, a sweetheart of a human being. Sweetheart. Yeah, Michael is very lovable. Okay, so guys, please, of all the things you do right now, this is what you're doing. Please tell everybody what this is. Okay. I'm going to hold this up.
Piano Bar Live. We're upstairs in the cabaret space at the duplex. We've set it up as a sort of a studio, television studio, where we have Michael at the piano. We got the idea. There were some previous stuff that we had seen, and including your show, by the way, and thought, you know what, we can do this, and we can stream it on Facebook,
right?
And we can start to show everybody what Piano Bar is, what we bring to the table.
I love it.
For me, in this day and age, it's the best. To me, by the way, the whole thing goes back to the original fire and people sitting around it. That whole essence of being in one room
and
having that moment together.
Yeah.
Right.
And what we're really trying is to make sure that we have a full, from young to old, mix everybody in one space, which is what the piano bars were like when we were growing up.
Right. It was a community.
It was a community.
It was before cell phones, when people were always looking on their cell phones. And it was before that where people actually listened, but it was a community of singers and a community of people. Now, I must stop you for two reasons. Leo has posted the Piano Bar Live link, so please follow that.
Oh, cool.
Okay?
Great.
Thank you, Leo. And also, my cousin Gina Savino has joined us from Massachusetts. When Gina joins us, we must clap. Gina Savino, everybody!
Okay.
We do this every week. Welcome, Gina. And then when Leo, of course, helps us, we go, Leo Rodriguez. So that
I like
After
it.
what?
we have to do it all together. Leo Rodriguez, ready?
Okay.
Leo Rodriguez. There he is,
I
beautiful.
like the.
Oh yeah,
That was a real rolling,
he
serious
does
rolling
magical.
R, huh?
Leo is in our studio audience this week, as is Bill Goffey. Now, Leo, pop your head, and there he is. Now, I have shout out to Leo. Leo does all our promo. He's the accidental assistant. He does all our promo and those little clips that beautiful little videos he makes. If Leo is gun for hire. So if you need someone to do all your video promos, you can hire Leo, and he really knows what he's doing. Joe Cangelosi has joined us. Hi, Joe. Also, Billy Goffey, who's my friend, is a piano player, guitar player, bass player, and also a photographer. He did my headshots. They came out amazing. Thank you. And Bill Goffey is also gun for hire. Bill, why don't you pop your head in there so that
I'm too shy.
he's too shy and he's not wearing makeup tonight. So who do we miss? Brian Johnson has joined us. Hi, Brian Johnson. Okay, hi, beautiful guy, said Eudenia Mesa. That's my girlfriend. And okay, so I think that's it. That covers everybody that we covered. So now what you were talking about is bringing young and old together, but you also, so people can show up for Piano Bar Live.
Yes.
But you have now a lineup here as well, week to week, right?
Yeah. This all started with this guy right here.
Of course.
So about 6
like
months
that.
ago, Scott, over the last few years, has been, every few months he'll do a night called Piano Bar Reunion.
Oh, really?
A lot of us that used to be in the piano bars have sort of aged out of it because we're not able to stay up till 3 and 4 in the morning.
Yeah, it's hard. It's a hard gig.
So, but he would gather people, a lot of the family, and every few months he'd throw a night with Babe Robinson, Nancy Tippanero, Bobby Pico, myself, and we would do nights of the people that used to do it every night that aren't doing it that much anymore. So he had already been sort of doing this, and then about 6 months ago, he mentioned to me this idea of this Piano Bar Live, and we would do a piano bar. You'd be at the piano, and back in the 80s, there's a fabulous composer named John Wallowich. Crazy guy.
Yes,
He was
yes.
Dixie Carter's music director.
Yes.
And that's where the beginning, the genesis of my idea was thinking about him.
John had
really?
a half an hour show every week on Manhattan Cable.
Yes, I remember
and he
it now.
would sit at a little upright piano with a French telephone
Yes.
and a tip bowl, and people would call in and make requests, and he would play them on the air.
Oh my God, I remember it now. It was like
he
in the
mentions
early
this.
90s?
Yeah.
I remember it.
And so that's kind of like where all that came out of his mind, and then he's talking
Not to
about...
interrupt, but Michael Vaccaro has joined us. Remember Michael Vaccaro?
I have his album.
Yes, it's
From, like,
amazing.
it's
He's
like
out in LA now.
And I think you were half naked.
Michael?
Michael Vaccaro actually was one of the many Bevnaps along the way.
Oh my God.
Hi, Michael.
We're going to go back and talk about Bevnap. So Michael Vaccaro, ex-Bevnap, former Bevnap. He was next. He wasn't. Violet Carbona's joined us. Hi, Violet. That's my cousin. She is in New Jersey. Hi, Violet, honey. Go ahead, sweetheart. So,
but yeah. So, and then he's mentioning how this could happen, and we're like, oh, well, that'd be kind of fun. And I talk to people and they go, well, we'll shoot it on Facebook Live, which I can barely handle Facebook now.
Right.
So I'm like, I don't know what that means. And he's like, you just do what you do and I'll handle this. So by the time we talked about, we made a wish list, of which you were on it. So when are we talking to you? We made wish lists of everybody we knew, some famous, some not famous, some that are still in the club, some that used to be, and to ask for people because we wanted to have a few guests every week. So that started, and we opened our very first show. Our very first guest was Karen Mason, because she and I go way back.
Unbelievable.
And we opened Mamas and the Duplex and stuff together back. So Karen and Richard Skipper, they were our first guests, and we also had other people from the audience that let us know ahead of time.
Right,
So,
that they were coming.
So that we have guests that sing.
So this is your next
This
show
is this coming week, this
Okay,
Sunday.
may I show the guests?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so we have Rick Chrome, we have Ruby Rims, Elaine
Elaine
Breyer,
Brian Michael Henry,
Eric Stephen Jacobs,
all the three named boys.
and Amanda Brasher. Wow, that's amazing. What a lineup. So these, if you come, and there's no cover, mind you.
Yeah, that's it. There is no cover, just a 2-drink minimum. We do ask, because the Duplex needs to know for seating and stuff, that you go on the link that says Purple Pass and you just make a reservation for however many of you.
You get free tickets.
And you get a free tickets, and then it's just 2 drinks. That's all you have that you're required for. But
you can have more if you like.
you can have completely
We're
more.
expecting people to have more.
But you can go on the Piano Bar Live page on Facebook, and you can find all the information you need,
including an FAQ that'll tell them exactly how it works.
how to link up, how to sign up,
And then
how
do
to
you
make
save
requests.
the video afterwards and people can go
Yes.
back and
They'll
watch
stay
it?
on, so you can even go on now tonight and watch our first 3 shows.
Beautiful.
They're an hour and a half long, but it's good because there's a little button at the bottom, and you can start to watch, and then you can just slide it right through, and you can keep moving until you see
Oh, okay.
back and forth. You don't have to sit there for an hour and a half. You can pick and choose what you want to watch.
Okay, great.
You can make requests for songs for me to do.
If it's live. So if
Or-
I'm watching live,
Well, that we have the
We're getting
problem.
them
do
on
that.
the stream
Okay.
requests, and
We don't
try
see
to
the stream.
pass them off. No,
So-
we have
That's right.
Michael Barbieri sees it,
And
but
he-
we don't like to interrupt too often with it. But
So I'll check in. I go, who's on? I'll call out and who's on, and we'll get. But for requests and stuff, we ask that you make the requests the few days before
Oh,
on
wonderful.
the page,
Oh,
because I
cool.
put them in the book. And also, if anybody wants to sing,
oh,
I love to be able to just say, well, who's in the audience? Come on and get up. Because we only film for that hour and a half, we have to kind of keep it sort of tight and moving. So if we know people want to come on, that's how we've added. We add people every week. So if we've got enough slots, we'll put people on. We love to have.
But
we
we're
love to have our
looking-
friends, but we
we're
like to
looking
have
forward
everybody
to
join.
surprises also, Michael. I don't know if I mentioned that to you. I have some surprises. up
You
my
surprise me
sleeve.
every week.
yes, he
Yeah.
does. Now, Leo Rodriguez, this is why he is a star in my life. Billy, watch, look, listen, and learn. Now, he has posted purplepass.com, the Facebook. So this is the link for what these guys were talking about with Piano Bar Live.
For this Sunday.
For this Sunday, if you want to go check it. Thank you so much. Let me see who else has joined us. We got a couple of people. Paul Bruno. Hi, Paul Bruno. Amazing actor and funny man. And his movie, and Chris DePiero's movie, is at the Lowe's Theater this Saturday, 1 o'clock, September 21st in Jersey City. I'm going to be at that, and I think
Love that theater.
Yes, there's a film festival called Golden Door International Film Festival,
Yep.
and their movie made it in. It's called Gavon's Produce. It's
good.
really funny. I saw parts of it. I'm going to be there this Saturday at 1. Leo, thank you for posting that. Jill Anderson, she's out in Morristown. Hi, Jill, my sweet friend. Tom Greenleaf, hi, sweetheart. He used to live in New York, and I forget where you live now, but I know it's not New York anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Tom, type that in. Mario Cantone, our wonderful friend, has joined us. He sometimes will pop
Hey.
up. You know, yeah, Mario.
See, he's one of the people
He's
that
sort of
came
amusing.
in and stopped. He was a surprise. Mario came in the room.
No.
The Piano Bar Live. We stop him. We say, "Hey, Mario."
Okay, so this
because
is
that he did that in the day
Come on
of
down.
piano bars. You
Right.
know, that was. He started down at the Duplex in those rooms.
right. And
Um,
we're saying, and Jerry Dixon. And
Let me
We're
just
happy to have him.
let me just quick
Where he
finish
is.
on this thought. Was
go ahead, honey.
we have this show on Sunday, so the Duplex has been sponsoring us. Scott's the producer. I'm the talent, And we hope to be able to go many places.
Yeah, anywhere we can bring our iPhone.
It's going to be hopefully weekly. Right now, we're going month to month as the club has time.
Okay.
So we don't know after Sunday where we're going to be for October, but we should have those dates soon. Any information you're going to need, we put it on the page every day. So if you have any questions or want to know where we're going to be, what time, we may change days. We may be at Brandy's for a while. We may be at Mama's for a while. You never know where we'll be. I hope to. I have a gig in Chicago in December. We're going to try to do a Chicago piano bar live.
Which you kind of did already. When you were
so
there,
cool.
people there had already seen you.
Michael, you're from Chicago?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, originally. Now, also, Mark Sittler, he's in Dallas. Julie Cesari, hi, sweetheart. She's in Santa Monica. Terry Leibowitz Ross, I think you're in New York right now, Terry, but sometimes she's in Florida. Of Terry Ross Jewelry. She's a jewelry designer. Mandar Chick Magnet has joined us. Friend of mine, Leo's and Bill's. Mandar, by the way, I don't know if you heard me, but I'm going to Jersey City this Saturday at 1 o'clock at the Lowe's Theater to see Gavon's Produce. Would you like to join us? I would love to have you join us. He lives in Jersey. Okay, and Janet Beto, she's in Connecticut. Okay, so I just like to acknowledge a lot of our wonderful friends come on. So I love that you're kind of floating from club to club.
That was the plan from the beginning.
I love it.
Because that way and by the way, we plug stuff happening at all the clubs in our show. Because that's part of that. We're all part of that.
Well, we are part of a community. That's what the whole point is.
It's not a location.
It's not a competition.
It's a way of life for us. So.
A few of the singers, they've got shows coming up, so they come on with us the week before to promote their show.
Yeah.
To find an audience. Will you tell the story about the 5 families? You tell me.
Well, that's what there are 5 different families in cabaret in New York.
Right.
And everybody has their own little what they do and how they, and getting all of the individual groups together to actually work together.
What do you mean by that? The 5 families.
Well, you have you have those people that with Lenny Watts and the Mac people, and then you have another group of people that are right. And then you have Katie Sullivan and getting all of us together and
it's all a different.
I love it.
With the piano bars, the cabaret,
and you know what I hear right away? Inclusion.
Yeah,
because a lot of times with Mac and all that stuff, which I love and respect Mac, but it does become an exclusive where there are certain people that will frequent certain clubs, and they also they're a little more visible in Mac,
right?
Whereas with Piano Bar and the way that you're doing this, it's so inclusive to anyone that you don't have to even be a performer. You can just come and enjoy,
hang out,
or if you're new to town, or if you haven't performed in years.
Between Midtown and the Lower East Side, which I worked in the Lower East Side, I brought cabaret to the Lower East Side in the 90s. It's like 2 different worlds.
It really, really
and the
is.
people that go to the clubs down there that are frequenting Joe's Pub and stuff like that are cabaret/piano bar. The people that are just logical for everywhere,
right?
But that's where they are, and that's where they're located,
right?
Getting everybody in one place is the goal. But if they're not going to be, we're going to go.
I love it though.
Place.
Just like I used to love the Mac parties, like they would have these Christmas parties and things like that were not just the Mac Awards, and I would enjoy going to them because you would run into people that you would normally run into.
Absolutely.
And I always loved it. That's how I got to really know a lot of people.
Well, because you network and you have friends that, like we all started in certain groups, and then you work at another club, or you're doing cabaret or piano bar, or you're off doing theater, and everybody eventually always comes back. Most of the piano bars were always like a haven. You could go in alone and not know a soul.
Absolutely, you never have to worry about that.
And like the early days, I was in the front room the night that Don't Tell Mama's opened. I had been for 2 years playing across the street at a restaurant called Great Aunt Fanny's.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And Irvin Robb, who owned the duplex, would come and have dinner at Great Aunt Fanny's while they were building Don't Tell Mama across the street.
Wow.
So that's how they got to know me, and I got to know them, and then I went across the street with them. But it was always, you could go in by yourself. It was, Don't Tell Mama's was our Cheers.
Yeah.
In the old days, everybody lived in the neighborhood.
Right.
So everybody that was either working on Broadway or working in the restaurants We'd have a rush after theater, so you'd have like 2 hours of bridge and tunnel and the heavy touristy. But then by midnight, 12:30, it became all the other people that were getting off work or finished their Broadway shows or hanging out, and you'd have everybody, 19-year-old Billy Porter would come and hang out with us and sing I Know Him So Well at 3:30 in the morning with Bobby Smith. Hi to both of you. Those were just magical things that would happen.
Yeah,
exactly. When you mentioned people like Billy Porter, Norm Lewis, Isha DeHaas, Darius DeHaas, all these are all people that are on Broadway.
Yeah.
Carpathia Jenkins, all Broadway people.
Leah Delaria,
and a lot of them
Kathy
started.
and Jimmy, Mo Gaffney, everybody worked at Mama's or other places or hung out there. When Michael Feinstein was first playing the Algonquin, he wasn't quite Michael Feinstein yet. He'd come over after his
first night in New York. Michael's first stop was the Duplex, as far as I know. Yeah. He came down the stairs into the Duplex. You know what the other thing, too, is, Maria, that in the 20s and the 30s and the 40s, you had things like the Round Table. And you had places where people would sit and they would discuss and they would pontificate, maybe. But
I love it.
It was a gathering of minds.
I love that. That's right up my alley.
In those locations at night in the 80s and the 90s.
Yeah.
And later in the night, of course, the minds would get, even more expansive. But
But again, thanks to him, it's like we're trying. Like the first show or two, we were sort of making the joke, well, we need to get some young people because it's not just all of our old dinosaurs coming out, which we love seeing each other, but,
but you
want to open it up to
incorporate
it. We're trying to bring back what was magic to us in the 80s and 90s, and have you join. So
you know what I'm hearing? I'm hearing that there is a celebrating of who we were, and nostalgia, but there's also a passing of the torch.
Yes.
And there's also like an educational component to it, like saying, like a storytelling, like this is what we did. We came here as young people, like you did, and we scraped and we just barely got by, but we were still standing, and we learned a lot. And some people got really famous, and some people just kept at the grind and kept going. And I just think it's beautiful. It's New York history. It's New York musical history. You cannot get any better than that.
As the artistic director at Ellen Stardust Diner,
thank you. Let's talk about that.
60 younger singing waiters, and we had a bunch of them in this last week that came in because we had one of the guests, Bianca DeSara, was in, and she brought some friends, and it was like a masterclass when Maggie Worth got on the stage. It was a hush.
Maggie Worth's been
a hush came over the room,
Marie's
and
crisis.
Everybody watched every little nuanced detail of what you and her did during that performance, and that's something that we can pass on.
Well,
we don't care. Steal whatever you want. We did.
Yeah, and we lost a lot of live music venues for a while.
We did.
We lost out to karaoke. We lost out to dueling pianos.
Yeah,
certain things that and a lot of the clubs just couldn't sustain. So, and
that's
some
true.
of the clubs now, they're so. And they have to pay their rent. So they're trying to get every tourist they can, and it can get loud. And I go into Mama's some nights, and I feel for those people, those amazingly talented singing waiters and waitresses that are in all the clubs that are in the trenches, because they have to work so hard to be heard at sometimes. Because the art of, you could still go into the clubs and chat with each other and stuff and listen, and not like scream over everybody. So it's like we're slowly getting back to that a little bit, where they're kind of going, oh, wait a minute, this isn't just me on my phone and them screaming, Rent and Les Mis at me, and I'm not paying attention. All of a sudden you're going, wait a minute, these are things that are special, and we've forgotten that.
Right? It's cyclical.
Yeah.
So, for instance, Jan was telling me, though, in the late 70s, disco ball. There was a disco ball in the Duplex because that's what everybody thought they had to have, was a disco ball. And they took that out and went back to the original.
And the TVs. We used to have TVs. A lot of the clubs had TVs, and they would show sports or whatever. And I remember at one point, Bill Morgan, who owned part of the Duplex, who was also a bartender, and they were also a Bevnap, and he said, I'm going to get rid of those TVs. And I remember feeling like, what are you getting rid of the TVs for? People watch that stuff. But he said, I want people to listen to you folks.
Yeah.
I don't want people to be
but I'll
watching
tell you
TV
something
anymore.
about
And it was
Jan
cool.
and the TVs. In the 60s, people would perform at the Duplex, but then they would go uptown. They would be uptown earlier. They would go on the Johnny Carson show, which was taped or whatever. Jan was the first person to multimedia it because she had a little TV she'd put on the piano, and she would have people come in and watch the Johnny Carson show. And then when those people would finish, like Lily Tomlin, they would come down to the Duplex and they would do a late set after their appearance on the TV.
Amazing, and that's probably why they had those TVs there.
there's-
See, for everything.
Yeah.
Let me just take a moment. I want to acknowledge Kenny Green has joined us. Hi, Kenny. Says hi, Scotty and Maria. Kenny is a wonderful musical director, and he's at Marie's.
Yeah, we saw him the other night.
Yeah, he's amazing. Roberta MacGyver, my friend, she's an actress and teacher, and she's joined us. Carrie Kate Abel Smith.
Hey,
you know,
I
Carrie
know
Kate.
that one.
I
Hi.
love Carrie Kate. She's up in Buffalo, I think, right? Or Syracuse?
Where are
yeah,
you?
I think that's where she lives now. But she's a cabaret, big old diva, and I love her. So good to see you. I want to also. We got to stop because we do the food section of our show.
Oh.
So, guys, you can join us on this one. This food section of our show is called Go Ahead, Keep Eating. Ready? You're going to do it with me.
Okay.
Go ahead, keep eating. All right, what have I made for my guests tonight? As you know, of course, I have my guests on, but I lure them in with, I cook for my guests. So, Scotty Barbarino, a few weeks ago, I said, Scotty, got any food restrictions? He goes, look, just make me something Italian. That's all I needed to know. So, what have I made here? I've made ziti/penne, and I made a bolognese sauce with, thank you, Billy Goffey's favorite. I made extra, Billy, so you can take it home. Red peppers, green peppers, Vidalia, onions, garlic, basil.
Can they smell this thing too?
Yeah, I think they can. There it is.
It smells really good.
It does smell really good.
It smells like my grandma's.
As it should. Parsley. Michael's going to smell it.
Oh.
Parsley
I wasn't going to smell it. I
and
was going to eat it.
Romano Pecorino cheese. Because when I was saying Scott Barbarino, Annette Zito put on, you got to put some Pecorino. She everything's a pun with her, so she made it Scotty Pecorino. So I put Romano Pecorino cheese on that. Now for my delicious salad. You know, anybody that knows me knows I love a good salad. So what do we do here? I have red leaf lettuce, romaine lettuce, and baby arugula. I love it. And red baby arugula, and I have red onion, baby cucumbers, and celery in there. And I'm going to put a nice, delicious.
I love that bowl too.
This is my mother's bowl from
That's
the 60s.
That's like the family bowl. I knew.
That's it.
I had an aunt that had a bowl.
Of course,
just like
I
that.
use this bowl tonight because I have so many people here, and I'm like, this is the family bowl. It's my mother's bowl, and I'm going to put a red wine vinegar on that, and an extra virgin olive oil, a little oregano, a little salt and pepper. There we go. For dessert, what are we having for dessert? We are having blueberry mini strudels. Look at that. Is that gorgeous or what? So we are having that. Very nice. Thank you, guys. I'm glad you appreciated that.
We like it.
Now, I do want to talk about. Michael and the other stuff you do, Michael, because you are a teacher, you're a vocal coach, you are an actor, singer. Now, you also played the role. You were in Hairspray, right? And you played Edna. So that is the Harvey Feinstein role, and I remember seeing it on. And you had to shave for that, right? Yeah.
Only time I'd shave was for Edna.
For Edna. So and also you said the producers, right?
Yeah, I've done Hairspray twice, and 3 different companies of the producers that play Max.
Wow.
So I'm either in a dress or not in a dress.
Right. Well, as so many of us have floated in between
in real life
in that world. So yes, Mama Gino, that's right. My mother's bowl. I bet you have your mom's bowl. So see, all the Italian girls keep their moms and grandmas. I have my mother's original pan that she would make sauce in. I still have that pan.
Do you use it?
Yes,
Yeah.
I do. If I'm making because it's really big. If I'm making a huge batch, like if I have a party or something, I use that. It's literally, I'm going to say, from the early 60s, like 64, and I still use it. It's dented. It's been through the mill, but it's gone with me to every house.
Yeah.
Now, Michael, I got to tell you something. I want you to look at this desk. Do you recognize this desk? This is your desk. Michael McAssey was I was your roommate. You actually subletted from you.
You sublet for me when I went
and
to
so
Chicago.
when Michael gave up his apartment and moves back to Chicago,
Who knew?
I'm going to tell you, this is my memory. It was my first apartment in New York. I lived in Staten Island when I first moved here for 3 years. Then Nancy Timpanero, a mutual friend of ours, I wanted to move into the city so badly. And she said, my friend Michael McAssey needs to sublet his apartment. He'll be coming in and out once in a while. You'll have the apartment to yourself most of the time. You're going to love Michael. He's going to love you. And we hit it off right away.
Yeah.
And Michael's so sweet. And then when you decided to leave and go back to Chicago, and you said, I remember it was right before Thanksgiving,
Yeah.
and you left, and there was nothing left in the apartment, a few things left in the apartment, like a bookshelf. There was, you said you could take, if you want something, take it. There was a
Did you
desk.
keep the platform bed?
I kept a platform
There's
bed
a
up until
platform bed.
Yes, up until about 5 years ago. I had your platform bed. It was amazing. You could lift it up and store stuff inside.
Yeah.
It was incredible. And this desk, I'm so attached to this desk. So many
Did
people
you
have
check
said
under the drawers and in the back
Everything,
and all that? Did
everything.
you leave anything?
There
And
was
I barely remember that.
Yeah.
I'm looking
this
at
was
it and I'm
like
going,
your little desk here that you had. And
yes, because then the piano was there on the side.
Right.
Yeah. No,
And
no.
I brought this desk with me to maybe like 4 different apartments.
Wow.
And I still have it, and I can't part with it because it reminds me of the first real New York apartment I ever lived in.
Yeah.
12G at the Camelot on 45th and 8th. And Michael, thank you for letting me be your roommate, and thank you for your desk. I'm very attached to this desk. So, it's just amazing the connections that you make as you go along. And after that, I mean, the things you have to do to stay in New York are not as easy as people really realize. Like after that, after you moved, I literally bounced around for 2 years. I kept this in storage because I had a storage unit, but I bounced around for 2 years from apartment to apartment, house sitting, cat sitting, dog sitting, while people were away. This was before the internet where you could put stuff on Facebook and say, I need a place to live. You just had a kind of network. So technically, we were like kind of homeless people. We just would tell our friends, listen, if you know anybody that's going on tour, and sometimes you would be like, you have 3 days between apartments. You think, what am I going to do? And then something would come through. Yeah. And it was really like having faith in yourself, having faith in New York and what you did for a living. And that something would take care of you if you just did the right thing. So this desk reminds me of all that, and that's why I keep it.
You had the Village Voice, too.
The Village Voice.
Apartments and actually go down the list.
Yeah.
I have 2 copies of the last Village Voice that came out, I think, a couple of years ago. The Village Voice was this amazing newspaper that came out every Wednesday, right? Was it Wednesdays?
Was
It was Tuesday night. So in the middle of the night, Wednesday morning, we get out of piano bar. Tuesdays, I'd get out at 5 in the morning, and they would deliver the Village Voice to the newsstands. And it was a $1, I think. However, it was really thick, and anything you wanted was in there. Yeah. Mostly at the back was ads.
Yeah, they had articles, show listings, theater listings, movie listings, and then in the back, anything you wanted to sell, rent, buy, including people, because they had the naughty, they had the naughty pages and the personals, before the grinder and the what's in the tin.
You would look at the personals. That's how
you would go in the
It was amazing.
There were actually other there were little things like that we had locally within the community, like Michael's thing.
Yes.
And
there
were little more magazines in those little magazines in those days that people
a lot of
could find out about shows and stuff like that. But
and that was way before the internet and cell phones and all that. That's how you stayed connected to each other, or met friends, or met whatever romantic partners or anything else that you were looking for. It was all those magazines. And the Village Voice was like a really big one.
I'm making faces at you.
You are? I love it. I love it. Do it. Caitlin Rose Cantrell has joined us. All right. So now, do you have any shows coming up, or are you going on tour or anything like that, Michael?
No, we're staying here. I am coaching. I'm a vocal coach down at Pace. So
thank you, Ryder.
Thank you, and thanks to this guy, I'm sticking around. And like I said, we'll have our October dates by like the end of the weekend, but we're pushing for everybody to come down to the duplex this Sunday. If you're in town, come and join us live. If you can't make it live, watch us either live or later on the link. But yeah, Sunday night, get there about 6 o'clock. We go live at 6:30. So if you arrive at 6, it gives you plenty of time to get a cocktail and get situated.
And Leo has posted the link and for the tickets
Yeah.
and everything like
And
that.
I want to
Hang out.
definitely throw a shout out and a thank you to Tony DeChico for
Yeah.
helping us by sponsoring it,
Right,
so that
great.
we don't have to charge a cover to come in, which it's piano bar, so
Yeah.
there's no cover. And he's been amazingly supportive. And
Wonderful.
I mean, obviously,
Yep.
he's kept the place open and functioning for all of these
Yeah.
years.
Right.
And that's, for me, it's like a returning to home.
Yeah, and like you
Since
said,
I
you used to
was there in
manage.
the-
You used
in
to
the
manage
90s.
Well,
so many years
and
ago.
Tony,
The
because
80s and 90s.
Tony used to be the manager at Don't Tell Mama like 20 years
Yeah.
ago.
Right.
When he was like this little kid, and he's still young, but it's like the tradition continues, and now
Right.
he owns the duplex,
Right.
and is keeping everything running. And I'm like, wait a minute, you were the manager.
Well, that's how it goes,
I
though. If
love
you
that.
stick
And he
around long
reminded
enough,
me something very important.
what?
It's all about the 2-drink minimum. That's what keeps our business going. So, folks, when
Yeah.
you go, even if you can't come to see our show at the duplex,
Right.
there's a live piano bar,
Right,
and
downstairs.
Mama's, and Brandy's,
Any of these places.
and all of them. Get out of the house and go and spend some time. But if you want to see the classic stuff, find out where we are.
Right.
We're going to be. That's what we're going to be.
And the
presenting.
thing is, think about it. 2-drink minimum, that's nothing. And the amount of talent and the quality of talent that you're going to see on a nightly basis is incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, a Broadway ticket now is like, some of them are $300. You could go in to get a few drinks, and I must say this too. Do not forget to tip your bartenders, your waitresses. That's how they survive.
Live. That's how they
and
live.
also your piano players.
Yes, thank you.
So I know a lot of piano players now have Venmo as well. So because a lot of the younger kids, they don't use paper money anymore. I mean, I don't get it, but
Well, no, and
And
that's
we
what it-
actually have PayPal
And
and
Venmo.
Venmo.
You
Wonderful.
can
We have
tip
a
me
virtual
anything. You can tip me
bowl.
right now, even though
Yeah.
you're not already. You
I
can
love
tip
it.
me right now. It's okay.
I love that.
And that money goes
So-
to support the art of what we're doing.
I was
keeps
going to
us
say,
going.
how do you folks make your money from this?
The duplex has been lovely in
helping us to
sponsoring,
sponsor, so they're giving us a
give us a
little
little bit to
Okay.
hang in, and then the 2 drinks. So that's what the more people we get down there,
That's
that'll
for them.
have
Right.
2 drinks.
And
that'll
we
keep
pass the
them
bowl.
going.
Michael
good,
does the old
okay.
Pass the bowl
pass
for
the
me, which
bowl
is lovely.
And
for
you-
people in the live audience, and we have a virtual tip bowl. You can send things through Venmo or through PayPal.
Yep, which is
And
great.
that-
Thank God for these things.
Yep, and
So
that's
weird nowadays.
really, by the way,
I know,
extremely-
but it
it's
works.
going to be very
No, it does
helpful
work.
because
I
we
was-
need more equipment.
Oh yeah, we need more
Props.
equipment. I was just about a month and a half ago. I filled in one night at Don't Tell Mama, and I haven't done the late night for a while. And we had the greatest night, and I'm doing a lot of the shows off my iPad. So all of a sudden, long story short, I'm taking way too long to explain this. The kids, everybody, I had 5 different people. They airdropped me their charts off of their phones onto my
Yeah, that's
iPad at the
amazing,
piano,
right?
and
Are
then
you
got up
kidding
and
me?
sang. That's what everybody's doing now, and I'm
We
like,
have to
What?
use this technology
It's-
to our advantage.
Well, we
We've got-
have to get out.
so,
Yeah, you have to.
I know, so I got to learn a lot more stuff. But it was great because I had the chart, because instead of coming up and go, do you know stormy weather in G? They're going, oh wait, I just airdropped you my chart.
That's incredible.
like, oh.
And
It was
also,
awesome.
people are Venmoing requests, which is great. And so the
Yeah.
piano players, it pops up and it'll say like, John Carpenter would like to do Stormy Monday, and here's $10 for that request. And then it's great because the piano player can call you up. That's what Darius does on Mondays and Thursdays
Mm-hmm.
for Singer Spotlight Night. Calls people up, and it's great. It's like a wonderful way, a civilized way to get things done.
Yeah.
And, not be shouting, Oh, Darius, speaking of Darius Farner, we were just talking about you, Darius.
there?
There he is. He just
Hey!
popped up.
When we finish our 90 minutes,
Talking about Singer Spotlight Night on Mondays and Thursdays at the Duplex.
Yep.
Talk about Piano Bar.
when we finish our 90 minutes in that cabaret space,
Yep.
we go
Come down to the
downstairs to the piano bar.
Right.
Because that's the beauty of it, is that there's a piano bar there for us to go to.
Right.
And
And
we'll
then we'll
bring
sit.
some of the audience to hang out because we go live at 6:30. We're done at like 8 o'clock or
Darius,
so.
call me.
So then we come on down, and so
Yeah.
we'll hang out because it's a lovely night in the village.
And I always say when I get on the mic, thank you for supporting live music, because this is what keeps it live. By people coming out.
Yeah.
It's very easy this day and age, especially in New York, to anywhere in the world, in the country, but in New York, seamless. You don't have to leave your apartment at all. You have Netflix, you have your television, you have your computer, and you don't even have to go out to eat anymore. We used to go to restaurants. Now everything's delivered. Hey, Jimmy, how much time do we have? I think we got a couple of minutes left. Jimmy will come back and tell us that. But things like that, people aren't going out anymore. So remember, here's JP Perot. Hi, JP.
JP.
Yep. If you're going to go out to a piano bar, we really appreciate that you made the effort to come out and support us and sing. Get up and sing. You know what we say at Singer Spotlight Night? You don't have to be great, you just have to be nice.
And also, Maria, we found out a lot of places don't have piano bar that really want it.
Yeah.
So we have people like in Tampa, you have Leslie Anderson, and in Columbus, Georgia, Jimmy Rutland, people that were in the piano bar world that are looking for us to sort of figure out how to bring it there and then stream it back here so we can all be together again.
How cool is that?
These people are meeting each other from
really
the past.
Cool.
That was the coolest thing. The first night, I still had no idea how this worked. Like
I wasn't 100%.
Scott just said, just go do your thing. So I'm at the piano, and we have the list, and we're going at, and I keep going. I know where the camera is. Michael Barbieri is at the camera, and I go. And for you folks at home, I had no idea who I was talking to.
Right. And
then the cool thing is, I went home that night and brought the show up to watch it back because I can't see the names and the stuff scrolling. And I sat there and I watched names of friends from the last 30 years all over the country saying hi to each other and coming back, and I'm like going, that alone is
I know, you brought, again, we bring people together. Again, it's a community. Now, because we're in the modern age, it's happening electronically, and people are all over the country. Well, we could never do that before. Hey, Jimmy, how much time do we have?
You got about a minute.
Okay, thank you. So that's Jim Bell. He's our producer and engineer. We want to thank him. He makes sure we get on every week and keeps us rolling. He's on Armed Radio. If armeddigitalmedia.com, Armed Radio Global. If you're on your computer and you want to type those in, it'll be streaming. We will be there 9 p.m. Eastern on Tuesdays. If you have a TuneIn app, just type in Armed Radio. It comes up and you can listen to us that way. Or see us on Facebook live on Tuesdays. Now, let's say you miss it. That's okay. I save the video. You can watch it anytime you like. And the great news is it goes into podcasts. And you can listen on replays on Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. We want to thank Scott Barbarino. We want to thank, yes, absolutely. We want to thank Michael McAssey. Michael, I will forever keep your desk and keep that.
I love my desk.
Yes,
I can't believe that's my desk.
It's there. He probably wants it back now, though. See?
You sure there's not an envelope with some bills or something?
I checked already. I checked.
You did?
Thank you, everybody. Billy Goffey's in the audience. Leo! We love and appreciate you. Good night. Come back next week.
Leo.
Thanks, everybody.